My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and the name that I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. And I've put this on other YouTubes if you care to go back and look through it. Uh, I was kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama, Lawrence County. And I'm not going to get into my kidnapping. I wrote a book. The reason I'm putting this up here is I wrote a book about mind control murders. And they were done in patterns, and they can be proven. Mind control is a murder weapon being used that is invisible. When I was doing the book, I was living off Delk Road, Powers Ferry in Marietta. And I lived in Marietta, Smyrna, for years and years. And my children, Mark and Scott, were born in Atlanta back in 59 and 60. While I was doing the book, MD A License to Kill, it was about one of the part of it was about Larry McDonald, who was a U.S. congressman and a urologist from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta. And I had written about the murders of Doctors Warren and Rosina Matthews. They were killed in Terrell Mill Estates. One of the girls that was prosecuted, the murders were prosecuted in Cobb County, Marietta, and one of the persons was under they called it hypnosis. Mind control, I think, involves a lot more, and I could tell that, tell you how it was done. But anyway, how mind control is. They teach you the Morse code, and you're unaware of it, and Edward Snowden touched the tip of the iceberg. That's all I'm going to say now. I run out of tape, video, and have to give back up again. Larry Flint was shot March the 6th of 78 while I was doing the book. And his attorney was killed in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And he says here that I knew who was responsible for his shooting, Larry McDonald, Murphy, etc., etc. And he mentions my name. And, of course, this was done in April issue of 84. I'll say this, when I'd never met Mr. Flint, and this was during the campaign when Larry McDonald, the very doctor congressman I had written about, his plane went down from Juneau, Alaska, en route to Seoul, South Korea. He was on a KAL passenger, shot down by the Soviets when it veered into their airspace. And this is what you can do with mind control. You can put the pilot, you could put the air marshal or anybody aboard. This is the joke in all of it. It must be a joke. I've been telling it, and I mean, nobody wants to hear it. They want me dead. But anyway, you can make the pilot fly off into another airspace and get shot, and it all looks good. The plane goes down, or into a mountain, or into the ocean, as some of them have been done. So all this bit about security and all that, you have to address mind control. I was writing about it back then, and now then it's easy. You can Google and all that and YouTube, but you can't see the ones that were done in patterns deliberately by the agency. Okay, so Larry Flint was flown out there, and I found out later, the first thing Mr. Flint said to me when I went in, I'd never met him, this is during the campaign to replace Larry McDonald, he said, they were going to send you back a vegetable. And I didn't know what he meant back. And now I know. I found out my real name and everything. Kidnapping, my name is Margaret Ann Windsor. And they meant to send me back this country, did a vegetable. And that's what they almost did. But that's just one volume out of my life of the laws that have been broken. But I was writing also about Eugene Kaiser was a former Fulton County, Atlanta district attorney, and he was my attorney. He was also the attorney for Jean Srokerman, and she was shot at Piedmont Hospital. You got a lot going on at Piedmont Hospital. She was shot Christmas Eve, I think it was in 76, and Hardiman, a psychiatrist, you got psychiatrists involved in all this too, because mind control is a murder weapon, has nothing to do with the mentally ill. It's not a mental illness, has nothing to do with it. And that's what they're doing with all these people saying they're crazy or insane, and it's Anyway, I don't want to run out of this, and I wanted to clarify something here. When I was doing the book, I had worked for doctors most of my life. I did work for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, Madison County in Huntsville, Alabama. And this is after I had been given, done the book, got a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79, and April Fool Day of 80, I was filled full of antifreeze, and Lois Pearson was a person that her and her boyfriend had broken the law, and they actually sit there and I oh God, how do you tell it? I can't. Let me just say this: she was responsible for putting the antifreeze in me, and her kids watched it. How's that? At least part of the scene that went on. And I'm not going to go into all that. I wanted to right at the moment. Cobb County, Buddy Darden was the former district attorney of Cobb County, Marietta. He ran against me in the campaign to replace Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor. Now, Buddy Darden I like. I think he's an honest man, one of the few you're going to find in all this. But he and Tom Sharon, the district attorney, the lab and the GBI, Alabama Bureau, everybody knew about this. The media, they won't touch it because of who kidnapped me, the Rockefeller's Rothschild's New World Order. And I was given the name of a twin, Peggy and Dempsey Childers. Their mother had killed them both. They were born out of wedlock, and I was put Lawrence County, Alabama, Moulton, and Pigsty. Now, before I lose it, the tape goes out, I want to put this. I wrote about the doctor. That's when I found out the mechanism used. I knew that murders were being done in patterns. But when I worked for Forsyth, Kuchar, and McCoy there in Atlanta, I found out that Dr. Forsyth had done a heart bypass, and he put a chip, whatever you want to call it, in the heart bypass. Back then, they were putting them in root canals, too. You can make the person, program them to go out and shoot, modify their behavior, their decision-making, and they don't even know it's being done to them. And if they did find out and tried to tell it, well, they'd lock them up and tell them they were crazy. So you got your medical profession all in this, too. I wanted to go back, though, to this. I had just linked, and I did put it on YouTube, the murder of Cooper Harris. Now, his dad is there in prison, Justin Ross Harris. I hope I'm getting this right. I'm trying to get it on the tape. And they programmed he and his wife both. They're from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, by the way. But what I wanted to put here, and that was linked to last week, just a few days later, to the outside Houston, the Harris County man that shot his relatives, about 6 of them, and killed about 5 of them. But real quick, Lynn Turner has died. This was posted on August the 30th, 2010. This is Marietta, Georgia, Cobb County. She was sentenced for the antifreeze murder of Randy Thompson and Glenn Turner. Now, Glenn Turner, if I'm right, was a law enforcement. I'm trying to get this on here. It's going to go out. Forsyth County was where the firefighter, I believe his name was Thompson, she killed both husbands. The first one, I believe, was a cop, and he was from Cobb County, and the last one was from Forsyth County. It's usually the doctor's name. He was a firefighter, but she was a 911 operator in Marietta. These were given antifreeze. Both husbands are men. The first one was her husband, was killed with antifreeze, and now she dies. And I don't think they haven't given an update, but they don't tell how she died. They said they couldn't determine what killed her. Multifaceted crimes riveted Metro Atlanta, and not one person has ever been held accountable for what's been done to me. The antifreeze that was put in me, and I should have died, but a vegetable was just 1 day, week, month out of the life of crimes done to me and my family, Mark and Scott. So I don't even know where they are. But this is just